It's happening. We're back. We are here. It is week 3 prop talk. Weren't going to miss 2 weeks in a row. Side note, thank God last week didn't happen. It was a bad week, but we're not here to talk about it. New beginnings. I'm in North Carolina. Tom's still in his basement in Philly.
What are you doing in North Carolina, buddy?
I moved, man.
What are you doing down there? You all right?
Planting new roots. Yeah, man. Down here in North Carolina. This was not going to be missed. I want you guys to know that if you're familiar with The Office, I basically just had to watch Tom do the thing with Dwight, how he sits in the back of the car and listens to Kickstart My Heart. I had to watch that happen, so Tom was ready for the show. So we're here, man. I'm excited. Man. I'm going to give you the floor first. Let's just jump right into this pupper.
Yeah, I'm going to go Hollywood over 58.5 receiving yards first. My man Hollywood was one of my offseason props. You know, I gave that to you guys on our show. He's well on his way to beating his 800.5 number for the year. Through 2 games, he's 9th in the league in receiving yards at 182. He's also surpassed his 58.5 prop currently, which is where it sits at so far. He's playing against the Lions secondary that's allowed 269 yards a game through the first 2 weeks, gotten 6 targets a game. So far, I expect that number to stay the same or go up a little bit. And you know what? I think it's going to go up a little bit, and it's not even going to matter if it stays the same because of his efficiency. I also really like his longest catch reception prop over 23.5. He's gotten catches of 29 yards or more in both games so far. I expect that trend to continue. He had 2 against the Chiefs. One was a 41-yard touchdown. The total yardage is a little bit easier to predict, but if you're doing the same game parlay, I like that addition with the longest catch there, especially considering he's got 3. So Hollywood over 58.5 points, maybe, or 58.5 yards receiving. Yeah, yards. That's it. Words.
Not 58.5 catches.
Nope.
Not 58
that would be a lot.
Touchdowns.
Nope. A lot.
He's been playing receiving. Well, man.
He has been. He has been. And the coverages are going to have to wind up adapting, but I don't know if this is the week against Detroit. So
it is not. Oliver, I will answer this one. This is Bobby Trees for me. Any other any other start-sit questions we will get here at the end. Appreciate you joining us. If you're watching us for the first time, please hit that subscribe button. Give us a like as well. Tom, I'm actually going to stay in the same game with the same team, different position. I'm going Tyson Williams over 56.5 rushing yards. He has at least 65 yards in both games this year, and he's done it on 9 and 13 carries. So it's not like this guy needs to get a boatload of carries in order to hit that. And like you were just touching on, the matchup is in his favor as well. Detroit has allowed the 8th most yards to running backs. They are 7. Baltimore is 7.5-point road favorite, so game script is going to be in their favor. I know, some people were making a big deal about this running back rotation. It's going to be 4 guys in there, this, that, and the other. It's Tyson, it's Latavius, and it's Lamar. There's going to be plenty of volume for the 2 running backs and Lamar to be able to get the job done as well. This is a team that's, even though we have seen more passing from them, which has been awesome, they're still top 3 in rush attempts, across all positions in the league right now. So I really like this one. I'm kind of confused as to why it's only 56.5. I don't see a situation where it's like they're going to get up and then pull Tyson Williams, but keep Lamar in. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't make sense to me why it's only 56.5. So this is probably one of my favorite ones this week and one that I will be smashing.
Well, when you have a rushing your pass run ratio is at like 58 to like 42. There's a lot of room to be like, hey, we're going to pass some more and still run a whole lot. So,
Right.
yeah, you know what I mean? So, yeah, no, I like that one too. I like the Ravens a lot in this game to actually play because the Detroit offense has actually been pretty well. So I think they can hypothetically stay in it a little bit better than some people think. I'm not exactly taking Detroit in any game, so don't mistake that there. But yeah. So second prop, I'm going to go with Stephon Diggs over 79.5 receiving yards. You know, I mean, incoming Stephon Diggs breakout game coming. Teams can't continue to contain him the way that they have been. Diggs plays
Correct.
Washington defense has allowed 3 wide receivers to get over 80 yards. We're only in 2 weeks, and that's happened twice against the Chargers. And then we saw that last week with Sterling Shepard. Josh Allen's going to come out swinging. You know, I think Washington's going to be able to shut down that run. Buffalo doesn't exactly have a really good run offense to start with. So, Josh Allen, if you're going to take something, his attempts has also been at 38.5 the last 2 weeks. I would like that as well. If you're going to go same game parlay, yeah, it's just the inefficiency through 2 weeks with Stephon Diggs. It cannot continue, right? He's an alpha. He's going to play like an alpha going forward. Josh Allen has to be better. He knows he has to be better. He said as much. And I expect the volume to be there for Diggs like week 1, but he's going to have an uptick in efficiency. So that is my second prop there, Stephon Diggs over 79.5 receiving yards.
I'm actually going to stay in the same game again.
And we didn't really discuss these either. That's good
no
stuff.
Because I was driving for 8 hours today, so did not have a lot of time to go back and forth on this. You were just talking about him. I'm going to stay with the same team, and I'm going Josh Allen over 266.5 passing yards for a lot of the same reasons what you were just saying, right? Like they're not going to be able to keep this down for too long. I know Josh Allen hasn't been what he was last year, and that was a concern going into this year. You know what I mean? Like we did not see him be this like accurate, efficient quarterback for the first 2 seasons of his career. Last year, he obviously crushed, and then like I think a lot of people were just like, well, this is what he's going to be going forward. But he still had these blow up games, even whenever he was bad. Josh Allen 2 years ago, right? This Washington defense, I thought they were going to be a lot better. I have a future on them to win this division. I don't feel as good about that as I did at the beginning of the year because this defense just hasn't clicked for whatever reason. I thought the additions they made on defense, plus with Fitzpatrick and everything, was going to make this for a better team. But Washington right now is allowing the 11th most pass yards. We saw what Danny goddamn Dimes was able to do this defense last week. Allen hit this. He had 270 week 1. And then obviously last week, they just destroyed Miami. So even though he had over 30 attempts, it's not like he really had to do much. You know what I mean? Bills are top 10 in pass attempts. They've also run the 5th most plays as well. So there's going to be plenty of volume to go around. Allen just has to, connect on some of these games. And like you were talking about the Stephon Diggs breakout game incoming, I think this is the Josh Allen breakout game as well. And I can't remember off the top of my head. And I need to do such a better job of this, of like giving people credit when I hear different statistics. But Emmanuel Sanders is in like, I want to say like the top 10 in air yards so far, or early on this season, but those just haven't connected. So if he connects with Manny Sanders on some of those deep balls, if Diggs goes out and gets his, he can absolutely hit this. I'm not worried about the rushing game at all, although I was surprised to see that they were like 13th in rush attempts. A lot of that having to do with last week, but again, I think we just see the correction here to the positive side, and Josh Allen gets his in week 3. Before you jump into yours, real quick, we do have a couple start-sit questions. We will be going live tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. if you have any more, so you can join us then as well. Drake or Mike Davis. This one's Davis for me. I think the matchup sets up well, and I don't know. I'm not interested in the rushing game with the Raiders. Are you going Drake here?
No, I'm not. Part of me was thinking about it, and then I was like, Mike Davis, Giants. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
perfectly fine because he should get some receptions too. So I would prefer Mike Davis there. But the Drake one isn't horrible. So
The opportunity's been there for Mike Davis too. He just hasn't
right,
hit.
capitalized. Yeah.
Speaking of Mike Davis, CHB has a question for us. Start two between Davis, Harris, or Trey Sermon. So let's start with that one first.
If you're going for safety, you're going to go Davis and probably what? Harris? It was Elijah Mitchell ruled out. He was doubtful, right? So Sermon was trending.
I didn't see doubtful.
I thought it was doubtful. I think Sermon was trending in the right direction. He should be good to go. And then they have Carry-On's going to go there. So if Mitchell's out, I think I would go Davis and Sermon and just swing for the fences there. But
I'm just going to go Davis and Harris. I can't mess with Trey Sermon.
And that's fine.
Week 1. And then also in the flex, Thielen or AJB.
I'm going to go Thielen.
Other starting receivers, Tyreek and Lockett.
I'm going to go Thielen there. I mean, I think that Minnesota-Seattle game is going to be a shootout. So give me Thielen to get 18 touchdowns again. Yeah, where is it?
Don't worry, it's coming. All in good time. It will be here. Shout out to Kev for throwing in that $10 super chat.
Yeah, I guess you're good. Never mind. I'll get to that later. It's fine.
Let's get this
where's the murderer? There should be like a murderer with a knife standing behind you in that video or in the window. Come
on, new surroundings. I don't need that bad juju. Don't put that bad juju on me.
Just like a guy in like a stuffed animal costume with a cleaver or something, like Mr. McGiblets back there. Come on, get it happen.
A cleaver. All right, trade question here from Bruce, and we'll get to our last prop. Should I trade Mixon and Michael Thomas for Lamb and Henderson? I have Thielen, Allen, Dalvin, and Dak.
Thielen, Allen, Dalvin, and Dak. Who's his other running back? That's going to do a lot to his running backs. Right?
I would assume if there's not another one mentioned.
Yeah. So it's Dalvin and Mixon right now, and then your drop down is going to be to Henderson. You can't even make that deal yet until you see if Henderson's going to play this week because the rib issue. I'm
going to keep Mixon there.
Yeah, me too. So you know how I love CeeDee Lamb, and I'm trying to talk myself into it. But I can't right now. So I would stick with Mixon.
Yeah. I don't think the difference between Lamb and Allen is all that much, to be honest.
Yeah, and then you have the positional scarcity at running back there for Mixon, so I'd go with that route.
I mean, who is your third prop? Hopefully we don't have the same game.
All right. Calvin Ridley, over 80.5 receiving yards. Calvin, it's time to put childish things away and stop fucking around, okay? Or shall I say Matt? It doesn't matter. Either way, cut the shit and give me some monsters, okay? Enter the Giants. They've struggled mightily against stud wide receivers. They're quick and have great route running ability. Jerry Judy was about to blow their fucking top off in week 1 before that bullshit ankle injury that smashed my dreams. Still hit the prop, but I love Jerry Judy. He had 72 yards. I think that was in the first half. Last week, Terry McLaurin went for 107 yards. If you're scared, take the under. No fucking balls to take the under on Calvin Ridley receiving yards. All of you. No fucking balls. Receipts if you did. We saw Taylor Heineke light the Giants up last week. I expect this to be a little bit of a higher scoring game just because the defenses are a fucking mess. I mean, they're dog shit. Cody, I'm cursing a lot on this one. It feels pretty good. I'm not going to lie.
Just let it out, man.
Yeah, I did. Do you have anything else in this game? Because I have some other stuff for a same game.
No, go ahead and hit on that. We finally have a different game and a different team to talk about. So,
all right. So I do like a same game parlay in this one. DraftKings offers a risk-free $25 bet, so take advantage of that every week that they offer it. I'm taking Calvin Ridley over 74.5 receiving yards, Kyle Pitts over 49.5 receiving yards, and then Saquon Barkley over 59.5 rushing yards. Noah Fant went 6 for 62 against them. Logan Thomas went for 45 yards against them. Pitts is a more athletic version of that. He's gotten better, from week 1 to week 2. They're using him a little bit more like a wide receiver. Saquon's playing a Falcons run defense that the Eagles lit up in week 1, allowing 111 rushing yards, just to running backs, 173 total. Tampa went for 79 yards with their running backs, and their running backs are hot fucking garbage. Sorry, Robbie. It's the TB12 show down there. I'm not going to give Rojo any credit. Falcons allowed the 6th most rushing, most yards per carry at 4.9. So I expect Saquon to actually be efficient and to get the most volume that he's seen. I believe his most carries are 13. I think he exceeds that finally this week, breaks through a little bit, makes you feel a little bit better about spending an early draft pick on him. So if you wind up doing that, those odds are in the 300s, I believe, plus 330. So take advantage of those same game parlays. Get in there.
I like Saquon this week as well. And this is before you started talking about this game. Kevin said over on Saquon everything. I do think this is the game where we see Saquon be a little bit more Saquon than he obviously has been to start the season with snaps going up to, he was above 80%. We did see him rip off that 40-yard run. There were some other smaller ones that didn't go for much yardage, but I just like the way that he was cutting and moving. And then going up against his defense, I think Saquon is pretty cheaply priced on both DFS sites as well. I know I'm going to be plugging him into my cash game lineups. And if you guys are interested in any more DFS stuff, make sure you're joining the Discord. We're going to be putting more player props in there as well once I get a chance to dive in, because there were definitely some that stood out to me that I would like to touch on, but just didn't have enough time to fully break them down just yet. But moving on to my last one, then we'll finish up with the questions that are in the chat right now. For the brand, it couldn't end any other way. Austin Eckler, over 54.5 rushing yards. He has 57 and 54 in his first 2 games. Now he gets a date with the Kansas City defense, who's been struggling, but they've also been struggling mightily against running backs. They've allowed the 4th most yards to running backs, allowing 5.6 yards per carry. They rank dead last in defensive rush DVOA, and they are 31st in line yards allowed per Football Outsiders. I know a lot of people were worried with us and Newhouse. Same cat. The cats did not change.
That was a cat? I thought it was that guy with the cleaver outside.
I wish, because then I would have an excuse for fighting back and attacking the cleaver guy. But I know a lot of people worried about Austin Eckler. Is he a 3-down back? He's going to be splitting carries, this, that, and the other. He's currently 15th in opportunity share among running backs. He has 15 more carries than the next running back in LA does, and that's Larry Roundtree, 6th-round rookie. So I think the days worrying about his opportunity share and is he going to get enough touches, those are over. It's Austin Eckler. They're still going to sprinkle in these other guys. Last week he was Justin Jackson, but I really don't think it's going to matter in this game. And I would also think from a game theory perspective for the Chargers, you don't want to get in a back and forth shootout with Mahomes, right? So it would make sense to me that you'd want to feature the run game early and often, try and keep Mahomes off the field as much as possible. So I think we see a heavy dose of Austin Eckler early on in this game.
Which bet did you take again? Eckler rushing?
Rushing, yeah.
Okay. And I told you, we talked about it before, I really like his receiving yards too. So it's basically just, if you're going to do a same game parlay, go all in on Austin Eckler and just say, screw it. Because I like Austin Eckler in that game as well.
Yeah, his total jumped up because it was in the 90s for sure. I saw it earlier in the week. I didn't take it for whatever reason because I was just going through and looking at some stuff. but now his total for rushing and receiving is at 100.5, and I'm still fine with that. He could easily go for 60 rushing yards, 60 receiving yards, just like he did last week. So Austin Eckler week, baby.
What time do you have to wake up to milk the cows down there, or do you milk your cat?
It has nipples, fucker. I can milk it.
It needs to be milked. Something needs to go on there.
My God, dude! Imagine listening. Just got in there and
Geppetto.
into a little saucer.
Get in there, Geppetto.
Dude, imagine listening to that in a U-Haul truck. Katie had Carson. I had the cats. And dude, for the first hour, both of them, that's all I heard. It was the point where we literally were on the road for 5 minutes, and Katie called me about something. And I was just like, I don't know. And she's like, all right, I'm gonna go.
That's awesome. It's not good when the car ride is easier with the 3.5-year-old.
I would have taken 8 3.5-year-olds over the two cats, 100%. Got a question here from Joey Niblas. Who should I start at flex, Chase Edmonds or Marvin Jones Jr.? I'm glad you brought up Chase Edmonds. I do like his over on the rushing. It's all the way down to 46. I think he's hit that number both games this year. And is D-Hop out, or is he just quite a game time decision?
Dude, I think he's going to be game time, but okay. I don't know.
Either way, it doesn't really matter. Going up against Jacksonville, they should be leading in that game. So I do like Chase Edmonds. How do you feel here about Marvin Jones?
I prefer Chase Edmonds as well. I think Marvin can be fine. I think the safety is probably in Chase Edmonds there, like as you were saying. So I'm gonna side with you on that one, Chase Edmonds.
I do think what time is that game? Is that a 4? Oh, I guess they both play in the same game. That's a 4 game, right?
Yeah, it was pretty.
Oh wait, no, they're at Jacksonville.
No.
That might be.
Yeah, no, it was one of the first games I saw.
If you're not feeling good about your chances this week, I would swing for the fences with Marvin Jones. But if you just need like steady points in your flex position, I do like Chase Edmonds. He's obviously going to be involved as a pass catcher. The matchup isn't anything to worry about. So I do like Marvin Jones the rest of the season. But I think you go Edmonds there. Another question here from Joey. Who do I start with my flex, Gibson or Marvin Jones?
I will probably
Derrick Henry. Oh boy, give me Marvin Jones in that case.
Jesus, I'm going Gibson.
I'm swinging for the fences.
So am I. It's insanity that we've come to the point that you're swinging for the fences with Marvin Jones as opposed to Antonio. That's where we're at in life.
He's still. We can't count on Gibson's pass game involvement. If this were week 2, and after week 1, it was basically the Gibson show, right? I think McKissick had 2 targets or something. There was only 1 other carry, but after last week, man, I know a lot of that was in in the 2-minute offense and the hurry up and thing like that, where McKissick is going to be featured, but. I mean, Marvin Jones has been super steady this year. Like, he could easily go out and have a 8 for 100 and a score kind of game. Like, I just don't know if Gibson has, in the role we saw last week, I don't think he has that kind of upside. I think if you're swinging for the fences, I'm going Marvin Jones.
I'm still rolling Gibson.
The fact that you can be putting Gibson in your flex, good for you, Nicola.
Yeah.
Kimmy Gibbler. If Cook is out, Tyson or Paulo? This is Tyson for me.
Same.
Kevin is concerned about you, buddy.
That's a first.
It's weird.
I don't understand. Why?
Well,
I thought my props were fine. No, I'm on a cleanse, okay? I need to cleanse week 2 out of all of our systems. That's what I've been doing all week. Okay?
Yeah.
For everybody, for the brand.
Triple Trey joining us again. Would you start Pollard or Sermon as your RB2, 14-team league, full PPR?
Sermon. I'm doing it. 14 team league. Yeah, I'm gonna roll Sermon out there. Assuming no, that's if Mitchell does not play. If Mitchell plays, I'm not doing it.
Okay, that makes sense. With all the Marvin Jones talk, David, I see your question, but since we're talking Marvin Jones, dropping Will Fuller for Marvin.
Well, we have to deal with not Tua for 3 weeks, so I think that's okay. I think that's okay.
You're a Waddle guy. This is something I wanted to look up earlier, but forgot. Do you know off the top of your head what the over/under for Waddle's receptions are? Just receptions.
I would bet it's 4.5.
I wanted to look that up earlier. I feel like we could see just like screens and slants to Waddle this week.
Yeah. Well, Fuller should be playing this week.
He should, but just let him run 9 routes, clear out the field, get the ball in Waddle's hand.
It's at 3.5 on DraftKings, but it's at -155. So 4.5 would probably get you even money.
Interesting. All right. Got a Facebook question here from David. 0-2 so far. A bit worried for the Green Bay San Fran game. I have Rodgers. Think Jones cutting the Rodgers ceiling too much last game. Plus, San Fran should have a better defense than Detroit had. Picked up Daniel Jones today. Oh boy.
Don't do that.
I can't do it. I can't do it, David. Because especially Green Bay is what was the spread on that game, Tom? We talked about it
6.5.
Okay. So
it was 6.5. I will check. So yeah. So I looked at it and I sent something to the guys as soon as the lines came out, and it was like they're getting 6.5 points in San Francisco. Like that is just that's been bet all the way down to +3.
Wow.
From 6.5 to 3. I told you that shit was gonna go.
Man, should have jumped in that teaser as soon as we saw.
No, I got it with the +6.5. But
you threw in a teaser with it?
No, I just did the +6.5. But
okay.
it was just like, okay, +6.5, yeah, and it's all the way down to 3. I still think Vegas sees this as the 49ers and the Packers not matching up well for the Packers. So I could see Aaron Rodgers having to throw the ball more often than you think. So I'm sticking with Rodgers there.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Rodgers there too. This just feels like the spot because I've heard everybody talk about Daniel Jones this week. This just feels like the letdown disaster Danny Dimes game. Like it just sets up so well for it. Like it's a point where all right, everyone's like, okay, like big waiver pickup of the week. He's cheap in DFS. I've heard a lot of DFS pods talking about playing him. Rodgers is gonna have to throw. Their cornerbacks don't scare me enough that Devontae Adams can't go out and get his. Their defensive line is healthy now. I know they were missing some pieces week 1. So I think Aaron Jones, in terms of his rushing, is going to have a more difficult time this week. And also, Aaron Jones is dead to me after if you would have told me last week that, hey, man, Aaron Jones is going to have 4 touchdowns this week, I would have literally mortgaged my house on I had his rushing over at 67.5. If you would have told me, like, dude, listen, I don't know what happens, but Aaron Jones gets 4 touchdowns, I would have literally bet the farm on the over on his rushing. and that asshole got 67. So he is dead to me. We're not talking about Aaron Jones anymore. But David, keep Rodgers in there. I think it's going to be fine. I like if I were to start Danny Dimes over Aaron Rodgers, and Danny Dimes goes out there and just crashes and gets 14 points, and we see Rodgers go out there and sling it, the hometown narrative, all that sort of thing, and he goes out there and slings it and puts up 303 or something like that. I would just be sick to my stomach. So
if it's in week,
you're only 0-2.
If it's in week 7 or week 8, then it's like you have more data to back it up. Like week 3, I just feel like you're getting cute and you're fighting. You're hoping the world destroys you.
Yeah. So keep the faith. It'll be all right. You're going to get the dub this week. You're going to be 1-2, and you're going to start a new winning streak. So let's go. Got Jen joining us. You think Barkley can be a good RB1 if Cook is out? Yeah, I think this is a low RB1 week for Barkley. I think whenever we did the ranking show, we all had him around like that 10, 11, 12 range. So I think Barkley's going to be fine. And then Tyson, Harris, or Pollard, it is Tyson for me.
Same for everything. And I took him in a same game parlay, so you should know how I feel about him.
Would you start A-Rob over Rondale?
I'm going to go A-Rob here just because the Justin Fields factor. And D-Hop not playing may throw a wrench into that, but you're not. Right.
This
you're not going
to. It's closer than it should be. I'll say that. But I can't. Again, this is like the Danny Dimes, Aaron Rodgers situation. Like I can put A-Rob on my bench over somebody like Rondale Moore. If we're talking like a T Higgins kind of, kind of range, like maybe I might think about it, but A-Rob is going to get his. He's been producing with shit quarterback play his entire career. Obviously, it hasn't hit yet, but last week he should have had 2 touchdowns. I think it was a drop that he didn't get that second one, so he obviously salvaged his fantasy day by having the 1 touchdown. But
A-Rob he's been calling Justin Fields every single day, like 6 times. Like, hey baby, how's it going? You're gonna give me 72 targets, right? Okay, nobody else exists, just you and me out there. Come on, girl. Wow. It gets creepy at the end.
Yeah,
but he's a rookie. He deserves it.
Hazing, the rookie hazing.
Right.
George Kittle. Right now, Trey, you can't trade Kittle because he hasn't been George Kittle. Nobody's gonna want to take that on, and you're not gonna get the trade value back that you should get for somebody like Kittle. For whatever reason, he's not even really running routes right now. CJ Uzomah has run more routes than he has. We just talked about this on the Wednesday show. I think he's tied for 25th in routes run among tight ends. So you have to hold on for better days. If you're nervous about it, wait until one of his 8 for 100 kind of games, 2 scores, because it's coming. He's still George Kittle. It's for whatever reason.
It'll happen.
I love Debo. The dude can't stay healthy. Ayuk is chained to the doghouse. He hasn't been let inside for 4 weeks. He's just been left out in the cold. So if anything were to happen to Debo, Kittle takes over. I think this could be, this week, especially if you want to wait, see Kittle go off against this Packers defense and then try and flip him after that. But I would hold. Better days are ahead. For whatever reason, he's just not running the routes right now. Maybe he's still a little banged up. Who knows? But you're not going to get what he is worth at this point. Tyson or Mike? Good.
I was going to say, and with Kittle, one more thing. You wait until after the game. Don't do anything before the game because we saw what TJ Hawk did last week, and that Packers defense is just like a fucking meat cleaver killing a cat, and then you have to sit in the cat with a dead cat for an 8-hour drive. It's not good. Packers defense, not great.
It's a cat killer.
It's like you put a cat in a blender, and you leave the top off.
What? It's getting dark. This is Tyson Williams for me.
Yeah, it is, but it's not by a lot. It's barely. And we've talked about both of them already, so it's really close.
Yeah. Just give me the guy who I know has been producing with a much better matchup. Not that the Giants is anything, to shy away from, but there's no doubt that Detroit is a better matchup there. What about Boyd or Clyde?
Oh, Clyde. Well, Higgins is out, right? So I'm going to go Boyd. Higgins is out, right? Come on.
Hey,
I thought I saw some shit.
Doubtful.
Okay, yeah, I saw he was doubtful. So he's out. I'm going Boyd there.
My God.
Seriously? You're struggling over a Tyler Boyd start question when T. Higgins
because
isn't playing?
It's also with CEH.
I know. It's okay.
That's because I feel like this is the game. Like this is basically the last chance saloon with me and Clyde. Like if Clyde doesn't do something this week, I'm gonna because this Chargers defense isn't anything to worry about either. Like we saw what the Dallas running game just did to them. I heard Matty D on the DFS show here on the Fantasy Authority talking about how the Chargers play a lot of too high safety. And they're obviously going to continue to do that this week with Tyreek Hill. They're going to try and limit Tyreek Hill. So if they have two high safeties the entire game, you're now talking about that KC offensive line.
Right.
Tyler Boyd, but it's like choosing which child is your favorite. I can't.
No, it's like deciding which child to murder for you.
My God, you had to go there. No, you know what? Give me Clyde.
The murdering thing really turned the tide for me.
Because
sold.
Even with T out, the Steelers do have a solid slot corner. I'm imagining that they're going to end up putting Sutton on Boyd, especially if T Higgins ends up being out. And I think this could just be like a gross. I don't know what the over-under is on this game, but like I feel like this could be like a 20-17 kind of game with just like not a lot of offense.
The over-under is 43.
I'm probably gonna. I would take the under. Maybe I'll do this in a teaser. Take the under up to 49.5 and do it that way.
That's gross. Don't
give me Clyde, and then Kev coming through, breaking that tie for us. Here we go. Kicker question from Kev: Butker or Young Ho?
Give me that Young Ho over that Butker. Know what I'm saying? I don't know. I have issues. These are like top 4 kickers.
I think Kev is fucking with us.
I know.
Sam Darnold, a viable quarterback in a 14-man league. Yeah,
no doubt, man.
I think he's viable in a 12-team league as well. If you're running late round quarterback or you're going the streaming route. And I know Kev has talked about this and he's kind of mentioning it here. But Darnold also has a really nice schedule over the next couple of weeks as well. So you can pick up Darnold and rock with him for the next couple of weeks.
Do you think the Jets feel catfished?
What?
Like Darnold's just like, oh, I remember how to play football. Fuck you guys. And Zach Wilson's out there like, yippee, look at me. Not great.
If anybody, they got catfished by Gase, right?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Well, they did it to themselves.
Right.
It's not even like they waited a year after Miami fired them. They're like, oh, Miami's trash. Okay.
Well, then they got that call from Peyton Manning, and Peyton's like, listen, Omaha. They're like, Sold. Give us Adam Gase. Pennies on defense. Should you stream weekly? Currently have the Panthers D. And yes, you have the Panthers D because you are streaming. That's exactly what you do. You wait until the last 2 rounds, depending if you're playing with a kicker. You take your defense and then you stream. And we do have a streamer video that we drop every Tuesday, so you can always check that out. We do talk quarterback, tight end, kicker, and defense. So we will have your weekly streams for you, and we only talk about teams that are available in 50% or more of leagues. So
and
wait until next week. And Panthers defense has been playing well too, although it started to look a little hairy there.
Yeah, in my home league, they got me 22 points this week. Okay.
Who was it?
The Panthers.
They got you what?
22 points in my home league.
See?
Because of yardage and points and everything. So, yeah. Stream.
Trey, no need to apologize. Bring home that money. We'll be here for you all year long. This is the point we've gotten to with Rojo. Would you drop Rojo for Michael Carter?
You know my answer. Yes, I would. Yes, I would.
I think this is one of those beautiful, sabotage drops. I can't remember what I think Sigmund Bloom has talked about this. I think this is where it originated. Like this sabotage drop where you drop somebody with a big name like Rojo.
Yeah.
Let someone else pick them up, deal with that headache, and you just mess up that team. Oh my God. I think at this point you probably could. You're never going to feel good about plugging in Rojo.
No. And it's about upside there. If you're dropping Rojo, you want the upside, right? So give me Michael Carter has more upside, and it's not close. Even if Fournette dies tomorrow, give me Michael Carter. Boop, dead.
What? Yes. Trey.
Quite. Good job.
Crush it. Are you kidding me? Getting Kittle out of all that?
Good job.
Even if you didn't get Pollard. I don't even care about Pollard.
Yeah, good job. And then if you, you're still a little bit trepidatious about Kittle, after he has his first big week, flip him for something else.
Yeah, and you're going to get way more back than what you gave up. Like Gaskins, I've been low on all, throughout the entire offseason. Jonnu Smith splitting time with Hunter Henry. I do like Jonnu as a, as a late round tight end, back going toward draft time, but crushed it. Good for you, Trey. Good for you. Guys, that is going to wrap up the week 3 prop talk. Appreciate all of you rocking with us. If you have yet to do it, please hit that subscribe button. Give us a like as well. Mark, I'm going to go Danny Dimes on this one. I just don't know what to expect from Fields in his first start.
I'm gonna shoot for the moon. Give me Justin Fields. Sorry, we're zero help.
Kev, if you're still with us, break the tie here for Mark. I know that you're a Danny Dimes truther, but I also know that you like Justin Fields, so that'll be an impartial judge here to end the show. I'm going Danny Dimes. Like I said, I just don't know what to expect. Jones obviously has a really good matchup. Fields could crush, or it could just be a gross game. I think
he's going to have a decent amount of rushing yards because that Cleveland defensive line is pretty good, and that's the tiebreaker for me. I don't think Daniel Jones is good, and he'll get his rushing yardage and everything, but I feel like Justin Fields might wind up, he could break the 50-yard mark just because he's running for his life with rushing. So, give me Fields, but that's more of give me Fields. I just want to see it. I want to do it. And it's not that big of a difference where if you want to go with the rookie there and root for the upside, then I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I get it. But the answer is Danny Dimes. Anyways,
That's fine.
like, subscribe. If you guys have any other start sit questions, either drop it in one of the other YouTube videos and we'll answer it there. Jump in the Discord, or again, we will be live at 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, and we'll take you up to lock. So appreciate you guys rocking with us. Let's get some money. Week 3. Here we go.